you bringing, ma'am? And then the other one say, I ain't standing because I ain't never heard of you before, so I don't know who you are. Thank you all so much for being here, but first I got to give you all a round of applause for showing up, because you know others were invited, but they did not show. So can you give yourself a round of applause? Now, my mother taught me, and some of the great leaders that I've been working with over the last decade taught me, you never go into anybody else's house without a gift. So Bishop, if you don't mind, I know you're busy, sir. I know. And I know, if you could come up just for a second. Now, they didn't start my clock. Just pause for a second. Hold on just a second. So I know First Lady, Last Lady is not here. But we just want to say thank you from P3 Global and Dr. Sonja Stribling, myself, my team, and my husband, Sean. And his last name is Alexander. Don't y'all ever call him Stribling, okay? All right. But we just want to say thank you. This is for your wife, and this is for you. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Now, as I start this journey, can I tell y'all a little story of how I met Bishop? Is that okay? So I know I got a short period of time. My clock is starting now, so that's the extra 2 minutes that I got. Y'all all right with that? So I was on my way to Boise. Everybody say Boise, Idaho. Yeah, I know y'all don't think we operate in Boise, but we do. I was on my way there for the second time. Look to your neighbor and say, the second time.
The second time.
In 7 days. I did not want to go back there because it was cold. But a mentor of mine, and sometimes when your mentor calls, no, not sometimes, all the time, when your mentor calls you and he says, hey, I'm going somewhere, I need you to roll with me. What do you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I would say, yes, sir, I'll be there. So I went to Tampa, I went to the airport on my way to Tampa to catch a private flight to Boise. I'm in the airport and I'm frustrated because I didn't want to go. I said, Lord, I got New Orleans, I got San Antonio, I got Chicago, I got places I need to be. I do not have time to go back to a place I just came from. But because I'm obedient and I can hear and feel that I'm supposed to go, everybody say go. Go. I get to the airport in Atlanta by myself because it's the last minute. I had to go get this, I had to do that. I get in the airport. First off, I go through security. I check my phone or sheet of paper that I had. I'm still old school. I got a printout. And so I looked at the printout and said, this is where I'm supposed to be. I got 45 minutes. Everybody say 45 minutes. I got 45 minutes before my plane does onboarding. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the lounge and just chill out for a minute. I go into the lounge. And I said, well, are you going to go behind the wall or are you going to sit here and mind your business? Because normally when you go out sometimes, people want to talk or they recognize you. And I'm not complaining. I'm grateful. But sometimes I just want to be alone. Anybody else feel that way? So I go into the airport and I'm sitting in the front. I made a decision. I'm going to sit in the front. And I was going through this whole debate. Am I going to sit here and watch everybody come through or I'm going to turn my back and mind my business? I said, no, you retired military. You better not turn your back to the door. I'm sitting down, minding my business, and I look up and I see this gentleman. Now, I already said I'm not talking to nobody. But guess what I did? I started talking to people. And I see this gentleman walk by me in this nice sweat, ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about, not the sweats, but it's a nice jumper, like a jumpsuit or a sweatsuit. And I'm like, okay, I know him. He got all these funky glasses. Like, who is this? I know him from somewhere. I just didn't know where. I said, well, maybe he was in the military and he was a sergeant major. I was an officer, he was enlisted. He looks too familiar. And I said, excuse me, sir. He said, yes. I said, I know you from somewhere. He said, wait a minute. I know you from somewhere too. So he said, can I sit down? I said, absolutely. Here I am, not want to talk to nobody, but I'm talking to somebody. He began to tell me who he was. Now, please mind you, I didn't know who he was. But I knew he was somebody. You ever been around somebody you know their spirit tells you that they are somebody? And they walk into the room, you gotta get acquainted with them. Like, I need to know who you are. We began to talk. He said, are you Dr. Stribling? And I said, I am. He pulled up his phone. He said, let me show you. I told my team to go find you from a video. Wait a minute, hold on a second. For all of you who don't want to do social media. Let me give you a quick note in this story. You cannot be profitable and be private at the same time. He's not ready, huh? He said, my team was looking for you. So he calls Pastor Diamond, FaceTime. Wi-Fi wouldn't let us be great, but anyway. And I'm sitting here at that very moment, it hit me. This is why you were supposed to go back the second time. It wasn't for you to go to Boise. It's for you to be in the airport and meet not the one and only Bishop Walker. It gets better. It gets better. I'm gonna get to it. And he goes through and he said, I told my team to go look for you because I saw your video. Again, you cannot be profitable and be private at the same time as a video that said I made $1 million without having a website. And the brand is built along the way. Everybody say along the way. Along the way. Not before. He began to talk to me. He said, you know, we've been looking for a speaker. And I said that, I said, Lord, I had this prayer back in September of last year that I wanted to go into more faith-based communities to teach us how to be at the 8-figure round table. The ticket said I was supposed to be, I look back, Bishop Lee's, I'm in tears, I'm trying to hold back because people think you're crazy. They don't understand how the Holy Spirit works. I do, and it was working on me. So as I pick up he leaves, I pick up my phone this time and I look at the ticket. The ticket told me I'm supposed to be at gate B or terminal B. I pick up my phone and it tells me you're supposed to be at A. I was in the wrong terminal at the right time. The moral of that story is there's some things you may not want to do, but that's already orchestrated by God that you need to do anyway. Everybody say anyway. Today's talk is all about manifestation. And I'm going to share with you how I generated $28 million in 3 years. And for my realtors that is in here, this upcoming year, we're on a track for $50 million. Real estate is still not added in there, so I'm going to show you how to do it just using your life experience and your knowledge. Is that okay with you? I'm going to ask one more time because y'all sound a little weak. Did I offend you? Can I ask for permission real quick? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Do I have your permission to offend you today? You sure? Now come get your pearls together because they're going to be real tight. I realize that. And this is one of the reasons that my prayer was, Lord, can open the door for me to come into an environment where I can share this, because I realize for people of faith, not people of faith, but those that are super religious to be wealthy. I'm going to say it one more time. I said, can you open the door? I believe that I'm ready to go inside of the 4 walls and have a conversation about entrepreneurship and business ownership, simply because you've equipped me for this over the last 54 years. I know y'all thought I was younger. I hear giving these young girls pressure. But as I go through this and I talk about the zones of manifestation, I do not have PowerPoint slides. I am a drawer. You may not understand what I'm writing. Just listen closely, okay? Is that all right? Are you ready? Now, I have a couple more questions before I go into this. How many of you in this room right now, you realize and you are making a vow and a commitment that this is your year? Raise your hand. Okay? We're about to see. How many of you in this room right now know that it is overdue for you to really stop playing so small because your purpose is too big? Now this time I'm going to ask you to do a little bit more movement and not just raise your hand. How many of you just in your spirit, 6 figures is not enough, I'm sorry. No offense to anybody. No offense. That's a great start. I'm going to ask you to think big. Everybody say think big. Think big. So, by standing to your feet, how many of you know this has to be the year that you break $1 million goal? I'm not just talking about $1 million a year. I'm talking about who's ready for $1 million in 6 months. $1 million day? yes, ma'am. I can shut up on a head all day. But when it comes to making money, no, I'm going to be reserved. Why? Why are we reserved about what is called for us? So for those of you that are standing and you are so serious about this, you're not curious anymore because it's already been written. It has been written already. You believe it for everybody else, but when it comes to us, he's not talking about believing. I'm looking for some people of faith that we are not apologizing anymore and that our banker will know our name. And if that is you, I'm going to ask you to come around the stage, come out of your space. Just come around the stage. I just want to have a private conversation with you. Just come around the stage. Don't come in front of here. Just come around the stage. Everybody else, you stay where you are, but everybody else, you can move. I need to talk to you privately. Y'all okay, Bishop? Am I okay? Oh, okay. I asked Bishop, I said, you sure? He said, no, I need you to be you. I don't need, so we realized, he said it this morning, I'm taking this to the bank. He said, he is faith and I am works. So this is for all of you that want works. Are you going to commit to this? I don't care what business you have or the one that you're starting. This unprecedented time that we're going through right now has nothing to do with who the president and his first lady and all the billionaires out there. Can we do something? Can we take advantage of what's about to happen? Do y'all realize the day of the inauguration, when they did all of that, the inauguration, there were 26 millionaires made in 24 hours. We over here talking about TikTok shut down. I told my husband, babe, my bad. I got caught up. Why I can't get on TikTok? All I'm going to ask you to do in the next 30 minutes that I have, or whatever time I have, I just ask you to listen a little bit closer than you ever have. This is not about your neighbor. This is not about your spouse or lack thereof. And we are not going to focus on in this season the first and the number one sin, everybody said this Dr. Sonja's thought, was focused on lack. We are no longer as people focusing on lack anymore. We cannot. So I'm going to ask many of you that are standing and came to the altar, what is in your house? What's in your house? She went and asked the man of God, hey, my husband passed away. And me and my kids about to go to jail, so we need your help. And he's like, what you asking me for? He said, because my husband said you were a wise man. I need you to tell me. He said, well, man, what do you have in your house? She said, I ain't got nothing. If I had something in my house, this is my ghetto version. If I had something in my house, I wouldn't be asking you. He said, wait a minute. What do you have in your house? She said, oh, I got a little oil. You mean the whole time